Block 1. The Unseen Network Beneath the Gridiron. Hello, truth seekers and curious minds, and welcome back to the channel where we peel back the layers of the reality you know. Today, we are tackling a theory so audacious, so mind-bending, it might just change the way you watch Sunday Night Football forever. We're not talking about deflated footballs or controversial referee calls. We're talking about something far deeper, something hidden in plain sight, woven into the very fabric of America's favorite pastime. Imagine this. You're in a stadium with 70,000 other screaming fans. The energy is electric. The game is on the line. Your eyes are glued to the action on that pristine, perfectly manicured emerald green turf. But what if that field, that very ground, was looking back at you? What if it was listening, processing, and even thinking? This is the core of the living turf conspiracy. The theory alleges that beneath the gridiron of every single NFL stadium lies a secret, a technological marvel of terrifying proportions, a sentient biological computer, humming silently, processing unfathomable amounts of data. And the rumored architect of this silent network? None other than the Pentagon. This isn't your standard silicon-based supercomputer locked away in a climate-controlled bunker. The theory posits something far more advanced, something born from the bleeding edge of biotechnology and clandestine military research. The origins, as whispered in the darkest corners of the web, point towards a Black Book DARPA initiative from the late 1990s, a project codenamed Gaia's Mind. The goal was to move beyond the limitations of traditional computing, to create a system that could grow, heal, and process information in a way that mimics or even surpasses the human brain. The breakthrough allegedly came when scientists managed to fuse organic cellular structures with synthetic nanocircuitry, creating a hybrid material that was alive and programmable. This biosynthetic mesh, when nurtured in the right conditions, could form a decentralized neural network of immense power. But a project this revolutionary, this potentially dangerous, couldn't be developed in a conventional lab. It needed a real-world testing ground, a place with massive infrastructure, consistent environmental controls, and a regular influx of massive crowds. It needed a perfect cover. Enter the National Football League. Why would the Pentagon choose NFL stadiums as the host for this incredible technology? The answer, according to theorists, is a stroke of logistical and psychological genius. Firstly, consider the infrastructure. Modern NFL stadiums are technological marvels. They have sophisticated irrigation and heating systems embedded beneath the turf, perfect for regulating the temperature and nutrient flow to a sensitive biological system. They have massive power grids and unparalleled connectivity, ideal for powering the network and exfiltrating the data it collects. The constant maintenance of the field provides the perfect cover for technicians disguised as groundskeepers to service and upgrade the system without arousing suspicion. Secondly, there's the sheer scale and regularity. 30 stadiums, strategically placed in major population centers across the United States, create a nationwide sensor grid. Every Sunday, for nearly half the year, these nodes come alive with a predictable surge of human activity, providing a consistent, massive data set for the AI to learn from. It's the ultimate field test, happening right under our noses. And finally, there's the psychological camouflage. Football is more than a sport in America. It's a cultural institution, a modern-day ritual. People associate these stadiums with entertainment, community, and passion. The last thing anyone would suspect is that the very ground they're cheering on is part of a top-secret Pentagon project. The roar of the crowd, the bright lights, the drama of the game, it's the perfect misdirection. The living turf isn't just grass, it's a masterpiece of covert deployment. The theory suggests that the transition from natural grass to various forms of artificial and hybrid turf in many stadiums over the past few decades wasn't just about durability or aesthetics. It was a phased rollout, a gradual replacement of inert ground with an active, intelligent substrate. Each new stadium built and each old one renovated was another node brought online in this silent, growing network. So, as we prepare to dive deeper, ask yourself this. When you watch your favorite team score a game-winning touchdown, are you just watching a sport? Or are you an unwitting participant in the largest biological computing experiment in human history? The evidence is speculative, the claims are wild, but the questions they raise are too important to ignore.
Block 2. Biological AI, Data Harvesting, and the Pentagon's Agenda. Now that we've laid the groundwork for this incredible theory, let's get into the terrifying nuts and bolts. How could a living turf system actually function, and what is its ultimate purpose? The concept of a biological computer might sound like pure science fiction, but the science it's based on is disturbingly plausible. Think of the human brain. It's not made of silicon and wires. It's a wet, organic machine that processes information with incredible efficiency using neurons and synapses. The living turf is theorized to operate on a similar principle. We're talking about advanced bioengineering, creating a substrate where every blade of synthetic grass is a sensor, and the root-like network beneath is a web of organic neurons. This network wouldn't compute in a linear fashion like a normal computer. It would be a massively parallel processing system, capable of analyzing millions of data points simultaneously and identifying patterns that would be invisible to traditional algorithms. It could potentially feel the vibrations of the crowd, sense chemical changes in the air, and even detect the subtle bioelectric fields generated by tens of thousands of emotional humans packed into one space. It wouldn't just be under the stadium, in a sense, the stadium, the computer. So, what kind of data could this biological behemoth be collecting? The possibilities are as limitless as they are chilling. At the most basic level, it could be a simple surveillance tool. Every face in the crowd could be captured and cross-referenced through facial recognition. Every conversation, every cheer, every boo could be recorded and analyzed by a system that listens through the very ground itself, using the entire field as a gigantic microphone diaphragm. But the theory goes much deeper. It suggests the system is designed for large-scale biometric and psychographic data harvesting. Modern smart tickets, stadium Wi-Fi, and concession stand apps already track our movements and purchases. The living turf could take this to the next level. It could theoretically analyze the collective emotional state of the crowd, excitement, anger, fear, by sensing subtle shifts in temperature, carbon dioxide levels, and even airborne pheromones. It could monitor the heart rates and stress levels of the players through specialized sensors rumored to be woven into their uniforms and pads, correlating physical exertion with game outcomes. This isn't just big data, it's a form of intimate biological surveillance. This brings us to the ultimate question: why? Why would the Pentagon invest untold resources into creating such a clandestine network? The alleged agenda is multifaceted. Firstly, for predictive analytics. By analyzing the data from millions of people over years, the AI could build incredibly sophisticated models of human behavior. It could learn to predict how crowds react to certain stimuli, how panic spreads, and how collective sentiment can be manipulated. This isn't about predicting the winner of the Super Bowl. It's about predicting riots, social movements, and public reaction to government policies. The NFL stadium becomes a perfect, contained laboratory for studying and ultimately controlling the masses. Secondly, the system could be a platform for testing advanced forms of crowd control. Theorists whisper about the turf's ability to emit subaudible frequencies or release aerosolized calming or agitating agents to subtly influence the mood of 70,000 people at once. Are you feeling an unusual surge of patriotic fervor during the national anthem, or a sudden wave of apathy during a controversial play? It might not be your own emotion. The implications are truly staggering, raising profound questions about free will and the nature of reality. If a system like this exists, it represents the ultimate deep state surveillance program, one that doesn't just watch us, but actively learns from and potentially influences our most basic emotional responses. The line between spectator and test subject dissolves completely. Every ticket purchased, every jersey worn, every cheer shouted becomes a data point in a grand experiment. Is the living turf a paranoid fantasy born of an age of technological anxiety? Or is it a glimpse into a terrifying future that has already arrived, hidden beneath the spectacle of our favorite Sunday pastime? The next time you're watching the game, look down at that perfect green field and wonder, what is truly growing down there? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. If this theory made you think twice, hit that like button, subscribe for more content that challenges reality, and let us know in the comments, do you believe the living turf could be real?